25 years is quite a long time. I wasn't born, I bet you were not born, but we're here and we are happy for First Bank Nigeria. My name is Oluchi Harrison, reporting live from the headquarters of First Bank Nigeria. I'm super duper excited. I think I've said that before, but I'm too excited I had to tell you more. Now, the symbol of the flag represents sovereignty, represents unity, represents strength, and represents identity. And now today at First Bank Nigeria, the flag hoisting is totally for the anniversary. We are here in honor of First Bank Nigeria. We're here in honor of the journey that was started 125 years ago. Now, I'm excited. Do I sound excited? Do you feel the excitement in my voice? Yes, now this journey that was started has now encompassed over half a dozen of nations across Africa, across Europe, and across Asia, and we are moving to take over the world. That is what First Bank Nigeria is all about. We are here and we're bringing you live juices. Get ready for celebrations, get ready for enjoyment, and we are all here for you. Stick around, guys.
Before we commence, we would like to put this program under the microphone. We would like to call upon
Mr. Jacob Moyo Ajetigbe, former MD of First Bank, to give us his complete prayer.
Please, thank you for making it possible to be here this morning to celebrate the 100th anniversary of First Bank of Nigeria. Father, we thank you for bringing it back. We thank you for all the people who have been passed away today. Father, people that managers, directors. And thank you for communities who back start. Thank you especially for Nigeria for peace and God this time. We thank our families. We thank for everybody gathered here today. Father, we commit this program to your hands. Take up this control, that glory be yours. Let me be hands. So we are praying.
Thank you very much, sir. We have the group chairman, FBN Holdings, PLC, Oba Otuneka, CFR. Thank you, sir.
Is the one of First Bank of Nigeria Limited, Mrs. Ifukunwawoshika. I welcome her. Also in our midst is the group chairman of FBN Holdings PLC, Mr. UK Eke. Thank you. Chief, I'm sorry, sir. UK Eke. MFR. Thank you, sir. I'm so sorry about that.
Also in our mix, we have the GMP, First Bank Nigeria Limited, Dr. Adeshola Adeduton. Mr. Shonubi Ade, who is today representing the CBN Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele. Please a round of applause.
Also in our is the Group Executive, Mr. Ayoye Feso.
Also in our midst, the bank CFO, Mr. Patrick Iyamabo. I would also like to present to you the CRO, FirstBank, Mr. Alebush.
The purpose of flag hosting ceremony is a call out to the flag. It's a way of showing love and respect for the institution that the flag represents. Flag ceremony may be used for opening and closing meetings, special events, honoring of special occasion, or person or retiring the world flag. For us at FirstBank, hosting this anniversary flag is a honor of our illustrious that started over 125 years ago. The journey that now encompasses more than half a dozen nations across Africa, Europe, and Asia. It's a testimony of our impact on families and culture. It's a testimony of our diversity. It's a testimony of our dreams. And a testimony of our aspirations for the future. Please give us a round of applause. Also, the flag ceremony now encompasses more than half a dozen nations across Africa. As we're having this event today, we're also having it across all the branches across the nation, our SSA markets, and across footprints globally. So it's a testimony of the impact that we have on the families and the culture where in which we have our footprint. It's a testimony of our diversity. It's also a testimony of our dreams and aspirations for the future of our bank.
Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, ably represented by my very good friend, I think this should be the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Your Royal Majesty, you know where you go, Oba Rilwan Aremu Ushodani Abiyokuwa, Group Chairman, FBN Notice, our Dr. Ayola Obafuruke, CFR, the Chairman, Board of Directors of FirstBank Nigeria Limited, Mrs. Ibuku Awusi, Directors of FirstBank, Directors of FBN Holdings, Directors of other operating entities of FBN Holdings are present, Executives of FirstBank, Executives of FBN Holdings, other executives within the FBN Holdings Group are present, our Directors, past Chief Executive Officers and MD of FirstBank are present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all on behalf of the Board of Directors of FirstBank to this event. 125 years ago, we anchored at the Lagos Marina. And today, from this day, within the entire world, is the basis of our celebration. And in a matter of days, we will be marking the 125th anniversary of this Nigerian institution that has now become a pan-African financial powerhouse. Today, very important day to the annals of history of our country, because we have gathered here today to celebrate an entity that has become synonymous with the aspirations of Nigerians, an entity that has traversed time, from the time pre-colonial days, in fact, pre-amalgamation, pre-colonial, post-colonial, this entity has been woven into the fabric of our society, and is an heritage that we are extremely proud of, and I believe we deserve a huge round of applause. Today's ceremony, which is the hoisting of our 125th anniversary flag, is to signpost another 125 years of prosperity, another 125 years of rendering valuable financial services, of rendering impactful services, impacting the society where we operate, not just within Nigeria, but outside of the shore of this nation, where we have successfully planted the seed of first time. So, 125 years of successfully and positively impacting the society in which we operate, 125th anniversary of impacting the society, helping the society to groom old men who have moved on working at FirstBank to contributing to the larger society. Today, we have the life of Dr. Joseph Sanusi, who, after serving as the managing director of the executive of FirstBank, have moved on to become the governor of Central Bank. We have the life of Enia Sanusi, who has also moved on to become the governor of Central Bank. This institution has produced ministers, foreign secretaries, diplomats, and we have contributed immensely to the development of our country, Nigeria, but more importantly, across Africa, made significant. To all of us, on behalf of the board, I welcome you all most definitely to this flagging off event to celebrate with us another 125 years of successful banking services, successful financial services, but more importantly, impacting the society where we operate, within and outside of it. Thank you for coming, and as the event unfolds. Thank you.
I'd like to move on and take some of the goodwill messages, and recognizing the land we stand on today, recognizing that we wouldn't be here if not for our royal fathers. I would please like to respectfully request a goodwill message from not than our royal father. Alailua Oba Rilwan Akulu, the Oba of Lagos. Thank you very much, sir. I will bring the microphone.
Happy new friends, tenants, my children, having I remember the days of poverty and therefore people start. I didn't know when you had much now. This is now. But that's out. Honestly, when you see Canada, this bank, to God, particularly James and others, including everyone. I remember you from FirstBank through everything and servicing for this year. And I didn't have the money wanted to pay the program. Today, now going to graduate to pay. How can I owe money that I not pay? They know because they want to write Papa. They will borrow me for money. I all I did is pay the rest. Why is it? That's God. I pray to God that who let me get the moment stand. When I was coming out today, my parents, my friends, my brothers sent me and one to pay myself that I need to see God. Don't be taken by surprise for me to take us back to God to cover this painful for me. There is a document in my possession, 150 years old, which covers this very painful and others. The whole of this place is called the Mudiade. At the time, who possession of this place was the rate of about the month of the 1885 to 1924. But because of my friends, my very good friends, Najeki, Abuji, and others, last year around this law, I know Mrs. Awosika is ready to make trouble. She is a character accountant, she is not a lawyer. It is a settled principle of law. Whatever goes on the land goes to the land. Afan Awu Asoluka. That is the solution. Important to be very well. You have to encourage staff and the integrity of banking, let it be what that has a continuous spread everywhere on the doorstep. And I pray to God of Allah for you to spread those things. But that does not mean that it's not out of my eyes. That is this morning.
Secretary Governor of the Central Bank, here representing the Central Bank. So we take it this is a message for the
Commission has signed on the state protocol. I know the cliche is that my boss to govern the central bank was unavoidably absent, but it is true. And he actually ordered me yesterday to ensure that I turned up in Lagos, so I would not miss this event. And I know we've heard a lot about 125 years of FirstBank run. By brawn, I mean the reach, the size, the presence around the world. But we do not realize that the FirstBank of Nigeria had for many years been the de facto backup of the Central Bank of Nigeria itself. And the rules then were if there was a problem in the Central Bank, especially around having your checks and payments processed, we would fall back on FirstBank. And I remember when I resumed at the Central Bank and came to the offices over here, one of the rumors was that there was a tunnel from the FirstBank to the Central Bank of Nigeria, that should there be a need for additional cash. It's not the other way around. Central Bank running to FirstBank running to Central Bank, but we might tap into some reserves that seem to have been hidden in the foundations of FirstBank. But that's the brawn everybody talks about. But we miss out on the brain that Central Bank has contributed to the banking community. The MD of FirstBank alluded to it in part when he talked about the Central Bank and people you had donated to the Central Bank. The duo of the Sanusis, Dr. Joseph
and Lamido Sanusi American. You can't write the history of the Central Bank of Nigeria without having their names lettered in gold. And what they brought was the bits and pieces they had garnered that was blossomed with the presence and experience of FirstBank. And as a country, we all benefited for it. For me, today is not really a day of celebrating the past. It's a day of appreciating 125 years of foundation. Today, we should be talking about celebrating the future. Because when you hoist flags, you will plant them somewhere. And while we've planted them in many places, obviously we've started an oral replanting episode to the hoisting of the flag today. Well done, FirstBank. Congratulations, and definitely more than 124 more years to go. Thank you very much.
Please recognize the presence of Dr. Mrs. Lydia Akonde, CON, former Minister of Industry, Federal Republic of Nigeria. She's also the chairman of the CAD Business Group and the former director of Union Bank of Nigeria. Thank you very much for joining us. We also have in our midst the former Minister of Communication, Mrs. Mobola Johnson, who's also a director at FBN Quest. Thank you very much for your questions. We also have in our midst the former Group Managing Director, FirstBank Nigeria Limited, Mr. Bisi Omoswaya. Thank you for joining us this morning. I will now hand the microphone over to Mr. Oscar Onyema for his goodwill message to us. Thank you.
The chairman of FirstBank, yes, and the distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this committee to rely on the approach of the modern established. We're very pleased to join you today to celebrate 125 years of the existence of FirstBank. The relationship between the FirstBank and the Nigerian Stock Exchange goes back to the early years of the stock exchange. They're one of the very first set of companies to be listed on the exchange. And they've become a bellwether for us when you look at the banking industry. We've also produced a number of presidents for the Council of Exchange, from Oba Tuleko to Asabia to other captains of industry that FirstBank has donated to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So it's not just about donating people to the central bank. I think they've donated people to all spheres of economic activity in Nigeria. So we must celebrate FirstBank because they continue to truly be woven into the fabric of the society. We pray that the next 125 years will even be better than the one we've done, and that it will continue to be a shining light for the banking industry. Congratulations.
It's time to do what we have come to do. And I'm going to call on a few people to help me. So may I have Abin and Remy help us as we lead our guests to go and actually hoist the flag, which is what we have come to do. We will be accompanied by music from the able army band, and we'll just wait for them to strike the chord. And
and follow it up. Do you get? Can you see it?
kábíyèsí àdúgbò lórí wà lẹ́sẹ̀ ní àdókòlé o. Representative of the Chief of Naval Staff with all
Sir.
is
Which type of
representative
human being
of
is
the governor of Central Bank, that's our regulator. He has actually confirmed something to me that I tell people that after the CBN building, 35 Marina is the second most important building in Nigeria. And he has confirmed it. Thank you very much for the confirmation. My DG of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, he also has a critical role to play in the affairs of our holding company. We thank you very much. I like to stand on all the existing protocols and would like to, on behalf of the board of FBN Holdings and the board of all our subsidiary companies, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to all of you for joining us at this momentous occasion. 125 years is not a joke, like I said, and I'm sure we are also looking at another 125 years to make a quarter of a century, and I'm not sure any one of us will be here in another 125 years, but at least those who are alive at that time will have records that in 2019, on our 125th anniversary, some people were in Marina. I'd like to thank you very sincerely for being part of this celebration, and also solicit that in every way that we impact First Bank Group, either as employees, as directors, as shareholders, as customers, we want you to please continue to do more for us. We'll appreciate it, and Almighty God will reward all of us. Thank you very much. For the closing prayer, I would like to thank Almighty God for giving us the opportunity of being here. and beseech him to please continue to be with us as we move on in this activity and all days of our life. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wassalamu ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amen.
Thank you very much. May our prayers all be answered. I would like to specially recognize the presence of Chief Joseph Sanusi. He is with us because he's just on the bridge, not in the traffic, based on the fact that they had to close the road. But he is present because all around this land is FirstBank, because KBAC gave it to us. That is why I'm recognizing his presence here today. Chief Joseph Sanusi was a former MD of FirstBank. He was also the chairman of First Pension Custodian and a central bank governor. Distinguished guests, FirstBank and FBN Holding family, please give a resounding welcome to Chief Joseph Sanusi, a former managing director of FirstBank, a former chairman of First Pension Custodian, and a former central bank governor, here to celebrate with us. Our ceremony has come to an end this morning. We promised we wouldn't keep you long, but I don't want to end the day without sharing with you some of the other events that we have to commemorate this day. Together with the FBN Holding family, are totally woven into the fabric of this society because we have impacted every single person sitting here, whether by way of employment, by way of paying salaries, by the loans and that has enabled businesses. We therefore say, and we dare boast, that we think we are beyond comparison. For those of you who are socially media active, you will see a lot of that in everything we're saying. And customers have started to share with us stories of why we are beyond comparison. We will have a Jumat Thanksgiving service. It is important to give thanks. There will be on the 22nd of March. There will also on the 24th of March be a Christian Thanksgiving service. Again, it is worthy to give thanks. We've been invited graciously to the stock exchange on Monday the 25th of March, and on the 26th of March we have a grand gala evening, but before that we have a lecture in the morning. So we will be sending the invitations to you. You should already have received save the dates, but the actual invitations will follow. We hope that you will be able to celebrate and commemorate with us. There will be other events throughout the course of the year, and we will call on you then. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, our royal father of the day, thank you very much for being here with us. We call the ceremony to a close, and we please ask that you rise for the national anthem. Thank you very much.
Can I say to you that I feel a sense of excitement, and because I'm excited, I want to give the room to others to speak, particularly the executive, in order that they can share with you, I'm sure, an equal, if not better, larger sense of excitement. Thank you very much.
Again, I promise us to be out of there in a short while. Because the group chairman has given opportunity for the executive to speak, I'd like to start with Dr. Shalade to give us some words about what we're doing today.
Managing Director of FBN Holdings. I also acknowledge the presence of our highly revered Dr. Joseph Sanusi, former MD FirstBank, former Governor of Central Bank. Today is a very important day as the hoisting of flag at the marina signal the commencement of the series of activities that we have lined up to celebrate 125 years of the existence of FirstBank. Like I mentioned in my opening and welcome speech at the main session, it's been 125 years of providing top-class financial services to the country. It's been 125 years of supporting government and government initiatives. It's 125 years of providing real value to all our critical stakeholders, our staff, the government, regulators and everything. So for us, it is not just about celebration. The hoisting of the flag also signals our posture in terms of what we are looking at over the next 125 years. Hoisting of flag denotes that we are here to stay. We are going to be here in perpetuity in terms of the bank. And for us, all actions, decisions, process and technology that we are implementing today in the bank are built to last. One critical thing about FirstBank is, and the reason why we have successfully existed, and we are still existing over the last 125 years, is our ability to reinvent ourselves. Ingrained in the DNA of this bank is our ability to lead disruption, ability to be part of disruption, and ability to be ready to be disrupted ourselves. And that is the reason why we have existed and we are existing. We actually belong to a very rare club of institutions, companies that have existed over 100 years. There are not too many companies all over the world, just 5 in Africa, that have existed over the more than 100 years. Today in Nigeria, we are a very dominant player in the financial services landscape. We have the largest customer base, we have the largest ATM network. Today, we decided to go into agency banking. Today, FirstBank has over 13,000 agents. We are the only institution that is located in the entire length and breadth of this country. The whole of the 774 local governments that we have in Nigeria, we have representatives for FirstBank in those locations. By the time you look at the fact that we have over 20,000 employees, we have more than 17 million customer accounts, we have more than 2,500 ATM, and today we process more than 20% of the entire transactions that happen daily in the entire financial sector. So this is the systemically important bank. Even though they say they are systemically important bank, this bank is the systemically important bank. And like the Deputy Governor alluded to, in the course of our history, we've actually played the role of central bank before central bank is service. We've also been called upon on several occasions to backstop several players in the industry. And that speaks volume about the strength of our franchise, about the nature of the iconic institution whose 125th foundation we are celebrating today. Just like the group chairman highlighted, the current holders of this iconic institution under his leadership, we are fully aware of the responsibility to ensure that we pass the baton on to the next generation in a stronger state than we have met it. And that is our commitment to the society. Thank you.
I'd like to just put on the table again one more responsibility that we owe. We owe a major responsibility to society as a leading member of the capital market. And this is where our own responsibility, when I say our own responsibility, myself as a non-executive director and she as a non-executive director, working with the executive directors, our responsibility to strengthen governance as a means of also strengthening in turn accountability to the owners and the respective stakeholders of our institution. And in this context, we have about 1.something million shareholders who are owners of First Bank of Nigeria through the FBN Holdings Group. And we are deeply committed to good governance as a measure of assurance and safety of the investment. So we are a very notable institution on the Nigerian capital market, which is why the DG of NSC was here, and your questions can also speak in this connection. Thank you.
Now, I think if you know me personally, you know that my antecedent is as an entrepreneur. And I grew up from a small business all the way to where my business is now. So I understand the sector that you're talking about. But historically, when you look at an institution like First Bank, and you look at the fact that in the last 125 years, before there were banks, we were the bank, which meant that every single type of business that developed within the economy of Nigeria, one way or the other, was facilitated in multiple ways by First Bank as an institution. Now let's move forward, recognizing our history and all the antecedents of all those that have built the institution to where it is now, to when we took over in the last 3 years, and the things that we've done to even move that forward. If you are very conversant with developments in the economy, you will know that we've been very aggressive as an institution in terms of helping to develop the minds of entrepreneurs apart from funding. Because we realize that money is part of the issue, but money isn't all the issue. And that while there's a lot of entrepreneurial knowledge, the entrepreneurial excitement and entrepreneurial passion by Nigerians, there's a gap of entrepreneurial knowledge. And you also have a lot more subsistence entrepreneurs. But what we need to grow the economy and to create jobs for the massive unemployed young people is scalable entrepreneurship. So you need companies that can employ 5, 10, 20 and grow. Also because it makes it easier for them to be funded by financial institutions. Don't forget that we're only keepers of other people's assets. If you have a savings account at First Bank and you have money with us, you want to be sure that whenever we deploy your money, that we deploy it in a responsible manner and in a way that guarantees that we're able to pay you back when you come to ask for your money. So what we've done is to invest heavily in organizing programs to help develop the knowledge and the skills of those in the entrepreneurship space. And they form the SMEs that you're talking about. And then as we invest in their development and their knowledge gap, we're also facilitating the ability for them to have the right kind of financing for the business. So we have certain kinds of partnerships that we've been involved in. We've worked very closely with Bank of Industry as a partner to develop the kind of sustainable financing that SMEs can apply for. Because what we sell is based on the cost at which we get the money. If you give us deposit now and you expect us to pay you 13% interest, we cannot give out a loan at anything below that because we're going to add cost and everything. So generally, commercial banking money sometimes is expensive for SMEs because of their size and their scale. So part of what we've done is not just to think about our own profit, but to think about the industry and how to grow the economy, which is why we have partnerships with organizations like Bank of Industry, so that we can organize the kind of funding that is at a more manageable cost that will support SMEs in their different spheres. We're aggressively involved in agriculture because we recognize that the agro-allied value chain is major to the Nigerian economy. Oil is a dwindling asset in terms of play within the world economy. And because the government has a focus, and we believe in that focus in diversifying the economy of the nation. And to support that, we're aggressively funding the value chain of agriculture, even as those businesses emerge and they are structured in a viable manner. That's only one part of what we're doing. This is something we continue to do. If you've seen reports, we've been to, I don't know how many campuses. We're running this entrepreneurial mindset across campuses so that we can prepare them as they graduate to be entrepreneurs. We have SME clinics that we run regularly and aggressively. We have a program that we run with Lagos Business School to help empower middle-level businesses so that they have the capacity to scale up and so that they're in the form where they can get the right kind of financing from us. So as a nation builder, we're definitely aggressive about fulfilling our role. We intend to do more. We have some plans up our sleeve as part of our 125th anniversary that will add to that process. And our commitment is that everything that is possible to do that makes sense and that is viable economically for our institution and for our accountability to all our stakeholders, you can be sure that we will do it.
Impacted the Nigerian nation in several ways, and I will just speak to one or two areas where we have made significant impact on the society. One is on financing, which is our primary responsibility as a bank. The first set of credit facility ever provided by any bank to the Nigerian nation was by FirstBank. So several landmark projects that litters the country today were financed by a bank. I would mention two phases. The privatization program of government over the last 30 years, FirstBank has been a very, very important player in that scheme. The most recent one is the divestment by the international oil companies from the oil and gas assets that were onshore. FirstBank played a very leading role in that particular space. So in the area of financing, FirstBank provided structured financing that assisted Nigerians. If you recall, some 20, 30 years ago, upstream oil sector used to be preeminent position just for the international oil companies. But in the last 10, 15 years, a number of Nigerian companies have successfully ventured into that space. A number of them are doing very well. There's hardly any such acquisition that happened over the last 10 years that our bank, FirstBank, did not play a very prominent role. And that speaks about the foundation of our business. We look out for profitability, but everything is not about profitability. We are also thinking about the developmental impact of all our lending. How does it impact the economy? How does it impact the larger society? How do we work with government to grow the economy so that the GDP base will grow further? That's one aspect where we played a very prominent role. The other aspect where this bank is second to none is the provision of skilled manpower into the entire sector. We've mentioned two prominent Nigerians here today, and we're lucky that we have our rival leader, Dr. Joseph Sanusi, with us. FirstBank provided a platform on the back of which it was appointed the governor of the central bank. The group chairman also cited the example of the current Emir of Kano, His Royal Highness Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, who was also a former MD of FirstBank. And there are several others. This bank has produced Minister of Finance, we produced diplomat, and so in several areas, we've contributed significantly in the development of manpower. I would also like to touch upon our corporate social responsibility, which is an area where we've set out as an institution to help to develop the quality of education in Nigeria. As I speak here today, we have over 15 professorial endowments in various universities across the country where this bank is funding. Again, for us, it's about supporting the quality of tertiary institutions. In the course of responding to the question on the SME, our chairman mentioned the fact that we take it upon ourselves to go to the campuses to begin to train the next generation of Nigerians coming out of the university. Two programs actually. There were some set of programs focusing them on how to become entrepreneurs. We also have one that I personally lead, preparing them for the job environment, career development. How do you prepare yourself for the job? So in every aspect, this bank has contributed. As I speak today, our flagship subsidiary, FBN Bank UK, is the biggest sub-Saharan Africa, outside, in the UK, outside of the South African Bank. Again, supporting African businesses across the continent. And that is what this institution is well known for. So I can go on and on and on in terms of our contribution, but be rest assured that we are not just looking backward. It's about the next 125 years, taking the bank to the next level. I also mentioned something. Today, we are the only bank in Nigeria that has issued more than 10 million cards. In the whole of Africa, we are second. We have issued more than 10 million cards to all our customers. Again, it speaks volume. I mentioned the fact that we are present in all the 774 local government that makes up this Federation of Nigeria. It speaks volume about also supporting government agenda around financial inclusion in a profitable way while supporting growth agenda of the government. So we are poised for the next 125 years. We are fully prepared, and the current leadership under our group chairman, we will hand over a stronger, better institution to the next generation.
And if you know anything about the Grameen Bank, you know that from a scientific point of view, the model that they run is a model that is known for financial inclusion. Financial inclusion is something that First Bank has been at the forefront of. We're deliberate about ensuring that our footprint, as my MD mentioned, we're in every single local government. So in terms of the bricks and mortar branches and the networks we have, we remain committed to perhaps those markets that some of our peers are not necessarily committed to. In addition to that, he also mentioned that we have over 13,000 agents across the country as a whole. Why do we do this? It's because we believe that without financial inclusion, the potential that is that of Nigeria, many potential, we believe that if we tie in financial inclusion and the strategies we have around that, around capacity building, around really making sure that our products are designed for inclusion so that the underbanked and the unbanked are brought into the sector. Believing that if we do that and we tie that to our SME products, indeed we'll begin to see the SMEs as a true engine of growth that they're supposed to be. So we have a number of initiatives, and we dare say that we're the thought leaders in terms of financial inclusion. We partner with the regulators, the Central Bank of Nigeria, for example, and we sit actually on the steering committee of the Sustainable Banking Principles. It's a committee across all the various banks who look at how we ensure that financial inclusion is not just something that we all pay lip service to, but it's something that is actually deeply ingrained within the strategy across our entire family, FBN Holdings. So within the bank we do that, but we also do that within FBN Quest Merchant Bank and FBN Insurance, which are also part of our financial service statement that we offer. So across the board, you see us as the thought leaders, the pioneers in financial inclusion in Nigeria. We will continue to do that. We are committed to continue to do that. One of the things I'm going to mention also is, I want to quickly say that in your packs, you actually have flash drives in your packs that has detail upon detail. The reason why we have prepared that for you is because when we start talking about every single thing that we've done, we'll be here till tomorrow. And as you can hear, we've had to open the road so that traffic can be easy. But please make sure that you check your packs. There are individual drives and flash drives in there with details of everything we've done. There are images from our session with Professor Yunus within the flash drives that you have. Now, the second question you asked was around culture. Without a doubt, you've heard it said that culture eats strategy for lunch. With the very best strategy in the world, if the culture is not right, then it's very difficult for you to attain your strategic goals and objectives. The culture within our group is one of inclusion. We think group first. Like I said, we're a financial services supermarket, because within our financial services we have the commercial bank, and we have the merchant bank, we have the insurance, and so many more. So we think group. The culture we also have is reinforced regularly. My MD mentioned earlier on that we know how to reinvent ourselves. And if you think about the fact that right now our workforce is actually made up of very many young people, younger perhaps than the perception is out there. I believe we are at 45% of our workforce being extremely young. Now we have a lot of millennials around with us as well. We have a deliberate policy, and in fact I think it was just recently, up until last year, we took on board 700 very young new culture, we reinforce our values, and we ensure that what's at the forefront of the minds of all of FBN holdings, it's not necessarily profit. It's what we've said. It's about sustainable, profitable growth, but it's also about doing right by our customers. We put the customers at the heart of our business, but the customers are not the only people who are at the heart of our business. Our staff are also at the heart of our business. I think that's the winning formula. If you think about what we say people, passion, and partnership. That's the winning formula for us, and we always end up by saying you first. The you first that's within our culture is not just about the customers, it's also about the staff. And that's what we drive. And that's what's seen us in the last 125 years. We believe it will see us through the next 125.
We realize that literally 50% of the population of the country is made up of women. And the potential for growth within the economy of the nation has to come from that latent portion of the population. And therefore, as an institution, we decided to focus on building the ability of that portion of the population to be greater contributors to the growth of the economy. But we started from, we combined the strategy of wealth building and business building, which is our SME parts that you're talking about. So we have this program that we call First Gen, which has essentially focused on empowering women, teaching them the knowledge to be able to build personal wealth. But in the process of building personal wealth, we also empower you to build better businesses and to be able to accumulate resources rather than consume resources in a way that the resource that you gather is more useful for the economy of the nation. And what we're hoping to do is to pass that through the generations. If you want to teach a household something, teach the woman, because she will ensure that her husband knows, but even better still, she will ensure that her children know. And our role as a nation-building institution is activated across different spheres. And for us right now, apart from SMEs, building corporate businesses and everything else that we're doing, we're aggressively driving the female agenda as a way to unleash the latent potential that is in women in order to grow the economy of the nation.
You asked the question, how do we counter the impact of fintechs? For us at FirstBank, and I mentioned it in passing when I said, part of what has kept this institution intact, and we have moved from strength to strength, is our ability to disrupt, to be part of disruption, and we are ready to also be disrupted. And coincidentally, we have Dr. Joseph Sanusi with us. In 1995, Dr. Sanusi started the Century 2 project, which was to prepare this institution for the next 100 years. We that are running the institution today, we have picked that up. We have a project we call Project Primus, which is to make us the number one in all the markets where we operate. Embedded within that is innovation. We have a structured way to innovation because at the end of the day, just like you mentioned, the face of the banking sector is changing and changing very rapidly. The fourth revolution, which is the digital revolution, is on now. And for you to be a successful bank of today and that will be relevant tomorrow, you have to have innovation at the heart of your business. We currently have what we call FirstBank Digital Laboratory located in Yaba, which is like an incubator. That is where we look at so many things, new products, new ways of doing things that we launch to the market. We also have an enterprise innovation unit that basically evaluates other markets that are way ahead of us and saying, what is the growth path? How have they moved over the last 20 years? How can we abridge that journey to ensure that we get to the destination? So, critical to our success is innovation, ability to be part of disruption, ability and capacity to lead disruption, and that is what our innovation capacity in us provides. So when it comes to competition with fintech, we have the capacity to compete. We also have the capacity to collaborate and cooperate with them. And both strategies are being deployed without ceding any space. Thank you.
Just one thing to add to what he said. You know, in reality, you think about the fintechs and you think we're threatened. But in the real sense, every fintech organization that you speak to will tell you categorically They have ideas and innovative products they want to sell, but the platform to be able to deploy it, the first platform that they seek is FirstBank. Why? We're sitting on a large customer base that fintech needs to hook on. We have the license that they do not have. We have the reach and the spread that they need in order to even take any value from what they have. So if anybody has any fintech product in this market and they want to make a success of it, the first institution they want to talk to all of the time is FirstBank. So we get to pick and choose based on our own strategy and our own plan, which fintech company or product aligns with our goal that we partner with. So it's easy to think that innovation will always override the institution, but in reality, it's more a collaborative agenda. And because we understand who we are, and we're not sitting by, like the MD said, we're also innovating along. We're able to take value even from the innovation of others through partnerships and collaboration in order to help the economy by allowing the fintech companies to grow, but even more importantly, for us to add value to our own institution and create value for our stakeholders. Thank you.
The hackathon that you refer to is one of the several platforms by which we partner with fintechs. Regarding the winner of that particular hackathon, ideas need to move to development, needed to be tested before it now becomes a product. Along the line, depending on the nature of the product, we are required to obtain regulatory approval. So sometimes the time from when the idea is developed to market launch varies depending on the complexity and the kind of requirement regulatory. So that particular initiative is on among several other initiatives that we are following. One thing that is clear for us is a two-pronged strategic approach. We can compete on our own, but more importantly, we've created partnership and collaboration platforms that enable us to work with fintech. However, fintech itself, the product they offer, like the chairman highlighted, more often than not require the last leg, which is the bank, for it to manifest. And that's where a bank of our size comes in. And we are strategically well positioned to take advantage of that. Now, regarding the question on what was your second question? On soft loans. Yes. We currently have a product that has been quite successful in the last 3 months. We call it SODA, which is a salary overdraft. We've piloted that internally. It's working very well. We've launched it in the market, and the reception has been fantastic. The second phase of that, and that is soft loan tied to people who are on payroll. So it's tied to payroll. The second phase of that is to go to people who are not on payroll, but you can identify their cash flow to be able to repay. Again, it's part of innovation. It's part of financial inclusion and expanding the breadth of what we're doing. So we're fine.
The premier and of course the largest financial services group in Nigeria today. When we say that we lay claim to our dominance in the commercial banking space and also our active play in the merchant bank and asset management sector, and of course what we are doing in the insurance space. Just as we are celebrating the commercial bank, we can list a whole lot of achievements that have been recorded by the merchant bank, which is branded FBM Quest Group, and also the insurance. Today, the insurance company is the fastest growing insurance company in Nigeria, and we are proud of what they are doing. Talking about life business, and it's not just about taking insurance to the cities. We are also present across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Wherever you find FirstBank, we have a life or general insurance staff embedded in those branches. Why is that important? Insurance has very low penetration in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, less than 1%, whereas South Africa has about 15%. And we are saying that we can play a very dominant role in championing insurance deeply in Nigeria. The same thing you can say for our Quest group, where we are supporting the sovereign, that's the federal government and the sub-nationals, to raise bonds and to raise capital
for infrastructure development. The latest we can easily mention is the Sukuk bond, where we raised 200 billion naira in 2 tranches, and they were all oversubscribed based on the pedigree of our franchise. So we are proud of what we're doing across those spaces. Now, at the holding company level, I need to say there is so much confidence by the investing public in the brand, so that today we can say we are the largest in terms of shareholder base. We have about 1.3 million shareholders, all believing in the group, and 17 of that you can attribute to international institutional shareholders, and about 36% will be retail. And so we are supporting families, hundreds of millions of people across the globe, to just raise their levels of income. That is what we offer. That is a widely diversified financial services group, and we bring synergy and collaboration. More like saying that we're one-stop shop. That is what we go to market with. That is the mantra, that when you have discovered the commercial bank, you've also discovered the merchant bank, you've also discovered insurance, and it makes us relevant today and into the future. Now, to the second question that you raised, or third question around listing. Listing is not something you do without a deliberate plan. At the time the founding fathers set up First Bank in 1894, they had a view of a pan-African institution with headquarters in Nigeria but with a presence across the globe. That is why 2 years after 1894, by 1896, we are in Gold Coast, as it then was, Accra. And 2 years after, we are in Sierra Leone. Today, we have expanded the scope of our coverage, and we're in 6 African countries. We're in Asia, and we're in Europe. Now, these are bold statements aligning with the vision of the founding fathers. In the course of time, we'll evaluate opportunities, even as we work with regulators and as we work with investors. But we have a view that we'll continue to maintain headquarters in Nigeria here, and then we'll spread our network. And when the time is right, and regulation is also conducive, we will be able to make a statement with respect to listing in those foreign markets. I hope you will be comfortable with the response I've given. Thank you.
I thank you very much. I just want you, when you are leaving, to leave with a clear impression, which is that First Bank, we are celebrating 125th anniversary, which means we are an old institution. But I want to assure you that our operations are modern, and our relationship with our customers are extremely modern, technologically driven, digital and inclusive, working in accordance with the best, the efficiency, with the best in the market today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bring this to a close.
Thank you.
I just want to share with you some of the other activities that we will be having as we commemorate 125 years of this iconic institution. This indeed is our celebratory month. This is the month that we have chosen because 31st of March is when we will be 125 years old. But the entire year will be an anniversary year. So we will be celebrating throughout the entire year. But it's not just about celebration. We will be telling our stories, and we look forward to partnering with you as we tell that story. I think the story of First Bank is one that all Nigerians should be proud of. As far as I'm concerned, and the way we all feel about this is that we're all celebrating this together. Because this is one more thing, one great thing out of Nigeria that we can be very proud of to take to the world. So when you go out there next and you're at the airport, you have a brand that is a very solid brand, that is a Nigerian brand that competes very easily with any of the other brands globally. Indeed, we're a very good company because globally there are very few brands who are over 100 years old. That's the reason why one of your competitors, I will not mention their name, do a program called the 100 Club. Because very few people live to be 100 years old. Very few companies live to be 100 years old. So what are we doing? On the 22nd of March, we will be having a Juma Thanksgiving service. You will see details of all of this as we continue. On the 24th, we will be having the Christian Thanksgiving service. I'm particularly pleased to tell you that on the 26th of March, in the morning, we have the renowned professor of economics, Darren Ashemoglu, the most cited economist in the last 10 years. I mean, Google him, that is what you will hear. That is the accolade given to him. He's a professor of economics from MIT. We will be having a lecture very similar to the lecture you mentioned, where we brought and invested in having a Farid, not Farid Zakaria, we invested in Professor Yunus. Well, he will be coming to speak on institutional impact on economic growth and improved living standards. What more evidence of our commitment to making sure that we collectively improve living standards in Nigeria? That is what is at the heart of the FirstBank brand. Thank you very much.
Working with the board of FBN Holdings, we've been able to sustain the vision of our founding fathers. That's also been devolved to the various boards, and I want to acknowledge the indefatigable Mrs. Awoshika, the chairman of the board of directors, First Bank of Nigeria Limited, working again with her board. I want to acknowledge the great strides that we've achieved in the last 3 years under the leadership of Dr. Shola Adedito, working with the executive team. That also resonates with all the subsidiaries that we have given birth to, and we are also shepherding. For us, this is a franchise that is iconic. It's a heritage, a national heritage we should all own and be proud to be part of. I am particularly honored to be at this position today as the GMD of FBN Holdings. But beyond what we are doing with over 20,000 skilled workers, impacting societies, impacting nations, shaping culture across the globe, we are committed absolutely to this nation. That's why we say we are woven into the fabric. And if you look at the logo of our celebration, you're going to see diversity. And I think you should take time to understand the elements of it. You have a bit of the Yoruba culture, you have a bit of the Benue culture, you have a bit of the Igbo culture, even a bit of Kente or Ghana culture, and the United Kingdom, which is Scotland, embedded there. So for you, see this as your personal project, own it, take it, and create the awareness that this is a brand every Nigerian should be part of. There is no other institution that can claim this heritage and this longevity. You are also part of history, and you should also say it as you move on, that we are here to stay. 125 years down the road, we may not be here, but I assure you, this brand will still be relevant. Thank you very much.
Okay. All I would say is that we acknowledge your choice of the Navy to give the flag because the safety of the maritime environment also is the safety of the bank and therefore the safety of our deposits that we have with you.
Thank you very much, sir.
I'm very excited and privileged to be part of this because this is celebrating First Bank of Nigeria's 125th anniversary of the establishment of the bank. To be part of that is inextricably to be part of the history of Nigeria. So when it is said woven into the fabric, it means that we are deeply connected with the financial and economic development of our nation. I congratulate you, I congratulate myself, and I do pray that the bank in 125 years' time will be a strong global bank. Congratulations to Nigeria.
Well, I feel excited about it, and I feel very fortunate to be part of it. Because to me, First Bank, I spent 2 years in First Bank, nearly 7 of those years as the CEO of First Bank. So I'm concerned for the welfare of the bank. So when the bank is doing well, I'm happy. I'm happy that we see this day. And my wish is that we are going to see many other happy days for the bank in the years ahead.
Amen.
The bank means a lot to Nigeria, an iconic bank, and I would say that the bank, First Bank is Nigeria, and we should continue that way. That's my.
It's a privilege to be the Chief Executive Officer of this iconic institution at this particular point in time. 125 years is not a joke. For us, it's a big deal. And for all our critical stakeholders, I also believe it's a big deal. When you look at 125, the institution we are celebrating today, First Bank, predated the Nigerian state. Don't forget, as a student of history, the Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate were amalgamated in 1914 by Lord Picard to form the country that is now called Nigeria. Imagine that our bank has been in existence way before the amalgamation. So we have seen it all. We were there pre-amalgamation. We've been around post-amalgamation. We were there at independence. We've been here post-independence. And we've been able successfully, we've seen waves of different economic posturing. And having come this far, it speaks volume about the nature of this institution. And we belong to an exclusive club of institutions that are older than a century. There are not too many institutions globally. In fact, indeed, on the continent of Africa, my recollection is that there are 5 institutions that fall in this category. And we could imagine our joy that we belong to that exclusive club of institutions. But that on its own is a challenge. How do you build this institution? How do you strengthen this institution to ensure that another 1 to 5 years we will be here, but we will not just be here, we will still be relevant, we will still be dominant, and that is a challenge for the current leaders of the institution. I must affirm that since assumption of office about 3 years ago, my focus has been working with the leadership team how to build an enduring legacy, a legacy that ensures that not only are we dominant today, we are putting structures in place that ensure that in perpetuity, another 1 to 5 years, another 1 to 5 years, this iconic institution will continue to be a dominant institution on the African continent.
We are so sure that First Bank is here to stay and will stay for even longer than we all would obviously stay. Now, we know that the symbol of a flag is, or the significance of a flag is its location. So let's say, for instance, you have the opportunity to pick a location anywhere for yourself to hoist your own personal flag. Where would that location be?
That's a very tough question. Let me sidetrack a bit and then I'll come back to your question. 1 to 5 years ago, First Bank anchored at the Lagos Marina, and that is where we've been. And from this occasion, we've happily impacted the entire world. From there, from a very humble beginning, First Bank actually started at the corner on the desk of Elder Dempster in 1894. In terms of where I would like to hoist my own flag, let's park that particular question.
Okay, we're going to cut that particular question. But since you did not answer that question, you can't answer the next question, which should be your 3 favorite sports or 3 favorite places that you would love to host.
Okay, my 3 favorite sports: soccer, that's football, tennis, that's lawn tennis, and last but not the least, athletics.
Okay. So if you had 3 places, 3 favorite places now, then hoist your flag. If you have. So now you don't have just one option, you have 3 options. So you can be biased and share it amongst 3 options. Which option would they be? Which place would they be?
Okay, I'll start with Abuja. And that is symbolic because I'm a Nigerian. The platform or where I sit, which is First Bank, it's also a national heritage. So I will always start with anything that promotes that national heritage and unity. And Abuja, being the political seat of power, is quite symbolic in that instance. So I will plant the first flag in Abuja. to recognize the sovereignty of our nation and the fact that this bank, First Bank of Nigeria, iconic, traditional, modern, is a Nigerian entity that has grown from being a Nigerian entity to become a Pan-African entity. That's the first place I will hoist my flag. The second place I will hoist the flag is Lagos. And for the simple fact that, despite the fact that the political capital is Abuja, Lagos still remains the economic and the commercial capital of Nigeria. And this is actually where First Bank started from. The third place I will hoist my flag is Ibadan, which is the headquarters of the southwestern Nigeria. And that is because I'm a Nigerian, first and foremost. I'm a Yoruba man, and I'm extremely proud of my heritage.
Great, that is very, very good. Thank you so much for your time. Before we go, we're still in the spirit of celebration and we're still celebrating First Bank. Could you give a shout out to First Bank Nigeria, which has been very happy and rich?
Hello, First Bankers. Adeshola Adetutu, your Chief Executive Officer, wishing each and every one of us very good celebration. And we must remember as we celebrate that the responsibility for all of us who are in the bank at this particular point in time is to build, to last, such that 125 years from today, when we're celebrating 250 years of First Bank, the then generation will look back and they will respect us, they will salute our vision, they will salute our courage, and that's what we do. First Bank at 125. Congratulations, all First Bankers.
Congratulations to First Bank. We are super excited. We're still celebrating. It's a year round of celebration for First Bank.